Government Resolution on Educational Policy 1913. We will learn the major provisions of the resolution on primary, secondary, higher and women education. We shall discuss the Government of India Resolution 1913, which was an attempt of the British government to compensate the demand raised for compulsory primary education by Gokhale. While rejecting Gokhale's bill of 1911, the government promised to extend recurring and non-recurring grants to primary education, as it could not ignore the growing popular demand for the spread of the primary education. The Education Department had declared the new policy in the form of Government of India Resolution on February 21, 1913, covering primary, secondary, higher and women education. The major provisions of the resolution: primary education. There should be sufficient expansion of lower primary schools where, along with the instruction in the 3 R's, children should be taught drawing, knowledge of the village map, nature study and physical exercises. Simultaneously, upper primary schools should be opened at the proper places, and if necessary, lower primary schools should be raised to the status of upper primary schools. What are the 3 R's? Reading, writing and arithmetic. Local boards schools should be established in the place of private aided schools. Maktabs and Padashalas should be adequately subsidized. The inspection and management of private schools should be made more efficient. In most parts of India, it may not be practicable to prescribe a separate curricula for rural and urban. But in the urban schools, there is sufficient scope for teaching geography and organizing school excursions, etc. The teacher should have passed vernacular middle examination and received 1 year's training. Provision be made for refresher courses for the teachers of primary education during vacations. A trained teacher should get a salary not less than ₹12 per month. The number of students under one teacher should generally range between 30 and 40. Improvement should be made in the condition of middle and secondary vernacular schools, and their number should be increased. Schools should be housed in sanitary, spacious but inexpensive buildings. What are the provisions for secondary education? The state should not completely withdraw from the sphere of secondary education. Further establishment of state institutions was proposed to be stopped. Existing institutions should continue to serve as models, and proper grants in aid should be sanctioned to private institutions. Improvement in the mode of examination and curriculum was also recommended. Provisions in university education. The resolution provided for the expansion of university education. The existence of 5 universities and 185 colleges was considered to be insufficient in view of the vast needs and demands of the country. The resolution suggested that universities and high schools should be assigned distinct spheres of activities. The universities should be relieved of the responsibility of granting recognition to high schools, and they should be kept under provincial governments. The establishment of teaching universities was suggested by emphasizing the separation of the 2 functions of the universities, teaching and examining. Recommendations were made concerning the inclusion of subjects of industrial importance in the curriculum and provision of facilities to the students desirous of prosecuting research work. The resolution put forth certain valuable suggestions pertaining in the character formation of students and hostel life. Women education. Emphasis was laid on the education of women too. Suggestions were put forth concerning special curriculum of practical utility of girls, and it was also suggested that too much importance should not be attached to examination in the examination of girls. Number of women teachers and inspectors also should be increased. Thus, through the resolution, the Government of India desired the widest possible extension of primary education on a voluntary basis. The resolution also took a liberal attitude towards secondary and university education. But the outbreak of the First World War in 1914 delayed the implementation of the resolution of 1913. Conclusion. The above discussion concludes that the resolution called for the widest possible extension of primary education. It is also made many provisions for the reform of secondary and higher education. Universities and higher schools should assign distinct spheres of activities. Further, the resolution put forth certain valuable suggestions pertaining to the character formation of the students. Thank you. God bless you.